Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I think you'll notice that today we have a very different view. Today you have my table view, which I'm trying my best to get the angle of the camera correct. But why we're having a table view today instead of our normal camera view is because today we're going to be working on something that is very different, right, than our usual digital planners or digital systems that we primarily build in Notion. Today we're going to explore how can we make a physical planner that will have the same benefits as what we have in Notion, which includes being intentional, right? And we're going to discuss a bit about how exactly does our goal planning, key result planning, project planning, and etc., task planning especially, change when we have a digital system that helps us be intentional by simply having different powers to the relational properties. I'll speak on that in a bit, but also make sure that anybody who is using the digital systems can also feel comforted in the fact that when I move to a physical system, all the benefits are not lost, right? We can still be intentional. We can still know exactly where I'm going and what I want to achieve whenever I start doing any task. So let's start talking about this. And how I like to start generally with any single stream is to talk about what exactly or why exactly we're building this and what we want to achieve and how we're going to go about doing it. So why is very, very clear to me, right? Is that currently only people who are familiar with Notion are able to benefit from our intentional systems, right? And of course, we should clarify what intentional systems mean. Example, to be able to start a success plan that helps keep our goals, key results, projects, and uh, etc. always in view whenever we are working on a task at hand. So let me first go and try to show you a little bit of what exactly we're currently is available for you inside inside our digital planner, right? So if we go, for example, to our uh, systems for a better life, and I'm just going to skip ahead to one of our dashboards to just show you quickly one thing that I want to show here. So for example, let's go inside our daily drivers. Let's go inside perhaps, let's just go inside one of our alignment views. So we show everything possible. And in this case, I'm just going to switch to here. I'm going to hide my camera for a second just so you can see everything fully. But you can see like one of our very big motives of being intentional is that we know that we have areas of life that we want to continuously improve. They're indefinite. We're never going to finish, for example, completing our health. We're never going to finish being improving our mindset or building up our knowledge. And as you know, as we get more and more knowledge, we're just going to learn more and more things that we don't know, right? So oh, and then what we have is we have a place for definite plans, right? Things that we want to do that are going to be have a start date and an end date, what we call our due dates, right? That we're going to finish it, and really the closing date which we actually finish it by. But here what we have is, we break down success into four components. One is the goal, which answers the question of why. We have the key results, which answer the question of what do we want hope to accomplish, and then the projects, which is how. And of course, the tasks are just, one of many ways to complete the project. And if I scroll down here, just to show you, like we can see that we have all our goals set out for us. And if I just open up something random, let's say knowledge, right? Maybe I want to have a better foundation, build up a foundation in psychology, for example, to understand myself better. That might be something you might want to understand in the new year. Just an example for you guys. And if I click on new awesome goal, basically we can see that immediately inside our digital system, we can break down like what exactly motivates us. What are the fears that potentially motivate us to complete this goal? Why is this goal so important to us? What are the key results? What are the indications of success for us that will mean that we have successfully built this foundation? Well, maybe we might have something like, complete an online course in psychology 101. Maybe that's something that will help us indicate steps for success. Maybe we uh, are able to analyze our own behaviors. You guys are in America, so I'm going to use American spelling, but are able to analyze our own behaviors and make concrete assessments based on concrete action steps based on that. So that's another thing that might be a key result. And of course, as we keep going deeper down the rabbit hole, well, for this key result that we're working on, we're probably going to want to have a project that says, well, we probably want to go to class in the first place. So maybe we try academic studies into psychology, right? That might be one way that we want to pursue this specific key result. And then within this project, again, in this digital system, we can go ahead and go deeper one more level and we can see all the tasks that we have to do. So the beauty of this system of being intentional, in my view, is that whenever we're working on any task at hand, we know very clearly like what bucket does it fall into? For example, what specific project or experiment are we working on that this task is part of, right? And then similarly in the project, what part of key results, what kind of outcomes are we hoping to achieve by working on this specific key result? And then, of course, then the key result is why am I doing this? Why am I completing an online course in Psychology 101? Well, it's because I want to build up a foundation in psychology to better understand myself. So you can see that when I'm working on, a digital planner, it's very, very easy for me to see, exactly where I want to go in my life and why I'm taking the steps I'm taking. But I'm sure, as you guys all know, when we work on something more physical, we end up flipping the pages, we end up missing, where the specific thing we want to do is on which page. It gets very convoluted. And of course, you can earmark pages, you can put, tabs, and trust me, I've been through all that, and I'm sure you guys also have. If you guys have found my channel, you guys have already been very tired of paper planners and all that. But today I want to just really dive in together with you guys and experiment with like how exactly can we turn a paper planner and into something more intentional and something that we can really use to be as intentional as possible and have the opportunity to really help us level up in our lives and hopefully share the system with a lot more people that have not taken the technological leap, right? But also be able to share a bit of our success plan, our way of planning for success in the cyber community with our friends and family. So I think that's enough setup for now. Hopefully we remember these are the reasons why we want to do this. But then I'm just going to dive quickly into the what and how so we can get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a paper planner that has the intentional components of relational databases or properties um, in, embedded. And then how we're going to do that? Well, this is going to be a fun part where I've experimented with a few things already, but basically we're going to create a way for our paper planner to easily reference our intentional our upstream items, so goals, key results, projects, etc. Okay, so let's get started. And also you have to give me a quick second. I'm going to run and grab some more paper. I was experimenting a lot this morning, so therefore I had used up a lot of paper already. But give me a quick second. I'm going to grab some paper and I'll be right back. All right, so let's get straight into it. I'm going to change the camera view. Hopefully you can see more of my hand. Hello. And I'm going to have some paper here. And it's going to be a bit lopsided. Maybe you guys let me know as we continue to stream if you guys think that it's should be adjusted a bit. The camera's a bit at like an angle right here, so we'll see how that works. Okay, so basically, if you imagine this as a normal paper planner, right? And I'm only going to take like maybe a few pages because I want to keep experimenting with more and more. And I'm going to start with 5 pages here, or maybe 6. Let's do 6 pages. Put the rest down. And then I'm going to fold this just to simulate for you guys a proper paper planner. So like a book, right? And what we can do here is that we can see, oops, it's not perfect. Let me go ahead and build it a bit more perfect there. Okay, so basically what we can see here is when we have a normal paper planner, right? And I assume that normally you'd start off by writing your goals, and you move on to writing, some of the tasks that you're going to do every single day, and then so on and so forth. What I'm going to propose is something radical. I want to propose that we start from the back, right? And we work from our bottom up approach. So for example, if at the very bottom of this page, let's say that we go ahead and we plan out our goals. So we say that in this section, we're going to write about our goals. So goals right here. Okay. And then let's create a few boxes for our goals, shall we? So actually, I should have brought a ruler as well. Let me think if I can find a quick ruler. Probably not. Okay, for now, let's put some goals here. So goal number 1 is going to be right here. Do I have a ruler? Let me just see. I'm hoping I have something. I do have a straight edge. So I'm going to go ahead and use the straight edge. Have another paper for straight edge. So for here, I'm going to go ahead and make a goal here. So let's go ahead and make a box. So goal number 1. And I'm going to go ahead and just do it quickly here because I think that we can trowel up more stuff as well the faster I go. So I'm going to just go ahead and make 2 straight lines here. And then I'm going to join these just quickly. And then we have one goal that someone can write. And then I'm going to try again with another goal. I'm just going to use 2 for now, and then we can see together if this makes sense for everybody. Then we're going to go ahead and use a second goal here. So a long line just like so. And then a long line just like so as well. Just like this. And then we can go ahead and close the loop here. Just like that. And then now we have 2 goals, right? So my thought process is this, right? If I write down my goals here, and then if I cut a hole in the previous page and all the pages before that, then whatever goal I write here will be passed on to every single page in which I need to work on something. So for example, if I want to work on goal 1, right? What if the first few pages here were able to show everything to do with goal 1, right? So this has a hole basically all the way to goal number 1. And then the next few pages, which maybe I want to work on goal number 2, will be about goal number 2. So let's see a bit about how that works. I'm curious too. Let's see if that works out well. So I'm going to get a pair of scissors here, and I'm going to start cutting, right? And maybe just for the sake of this illustration, maybe I won't use so many pieces of paper because I don't want to waste so much paper. And I'm just going to use 2 pages on top, and hopefully that will give us the effect that we're looking for. And if good, then we'll mass scale it up, of course. So let's go ahead and let's make sure I got an X-Acto knife here. So the X-Acto knife should be able to help me cut a nice line. And basically what I want to do is I want to go ahead and cut a line right here. Maybe I'll layer it on top. And let's see. I just need a template, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure I cut on the right line. So I'm going to go around here and just put it on the side here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and mark it up. So let's go and mark this up, shall we? So I'm going to go ahead and not cut directly on my table. I guess that might be bad. I'm going to cut here, and then I'm going to cut here. Okay, so I'm going to cut into those two places, and I'm going to do it on top of this thing right here. Or perhaps I can find something better, something to put underneath to cut. Okay, for now, let's just go ahead and try it out. I'm going to use piece of scissors probably then, because I just want to test this out. And then we're going to go ahead and fold this in half so we can do a easy cut very simply. Oops, and you can't see this. Very easy cut, just like this. You guys can just follow along at home too if you guys are also trying this out. I just want to build out this concept with you guys, and then hopefully I can scale this up and even give you guys an option to try this out without having to work so hard. Maybe I'll create some templates to scale and print out these papers. Okay, so that's one thing cut out, right? You can see here it's cut out like this. And my thought process is like this, right? If I have these goals already nicely written here, so for example, maybe I have a get fit, right? You guys, if you guys been watching my videos, you know I love using that example, right? So maybe one of my goals was get fit in 2022. So this is 2022, get fit in 2022. So if I flip this down, right, and again, I'm assuming that I started with the back in mind. So, oops, again, I'm just going to position it a little bit. You can see that the goal is already nicely shown here. So I'm going to go ahead and title this the goal, right? Goal number 1. And goal number 1 is what we're going to be focusing on here. And then I'm also going to just cut a little bit more here so I can have some more space for myself. Let's go ahead and cut a bit deeper. So let's go ahead and cut like this so we can get just a bit more space here. And then we can go cut 2. And then we can go ahead here and cut 2. Okay, perfect. So now we have a get fit in 2022 goal number 1. It's like that. And then because we have that very intentional goal in the back, now we can just write down anything we want to do to get there, right? So my next thought process is, well, do I fit in the goal with the key result? For example, if I have the goal here, do I put the key result here, or do I make another page for that? In my opinion, we should create another page for that, because this gives us the opportunity to be very, very clear in exactly how we're going to go ahead and approach that. So my thought process here is that now that we have that goal very clearly mapped out, let's map out a few key results, right? So we have key result, or you can also think of them as outcomes, right? So key results. And then our key results, I'm going to do a few here as an example as well, so that we can follow along and understand what I'm doing here. But for key results, I'm going to go ahead and just make some more boxes. In this case, I'm going to try to make 3 boxes here, just so that we have some something to work with. So let's go key results like this. That's one of them. Let's open another key result like this. Just like this. Perfect. So I think I'm going to leave a bit of space for us to have an explanation as well, because I don't think it'll be very clear if we just have like, a sentence to explain our key results. Like, how is that helpful, right? So I'm just going to try to leave some space in case they want to explain, some additional details, but you get the gist, right? If someone can put some key results down, that'd be amazing. So for here, I'm going to say like, oh, what does it really mean to get fit in 2022? What do I have to accomplish? Well, maybe being able to lift X pounds, right, of weight. And you can think of it as deadlifting, as, as squatting, whatever you want, right? But just as an example. And maybe another way of getting fit for you is being able to run X kilometers, right? Maybe it's 5 kilometers, maybe it's 10, maybe it's just 1, whatever your goal is, right? Or whatever your initial stages of progression are for how you want to reach your goal. And of course, these can keep adding on, right? Key results, in my opinion, should keep going on to like go to 2, go to 3, go to 4, go to 5, and just keep on adding and adding. So what we can do here now is, because we have this goal number 1, get fit in 2022, and then these key results are now planned out. What we can do is we can go ahead and add another page on top of it and then do another cutout as well. So let's try that out. And by the way, I'm already envisioning that there's probably going to be a few more additional ways we can do this. Like I'm already thinking that maybe we can have each goal. So right now I have like all the goals. I was planning to list them all out in one place so we can see like goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, goal 4, etc. But maybe the best thing to do is just to have always the goal on one section. We just slip in the goal whenever we want. Maybe the goal is just a separate card. That could be also really, really cool. So we can think more about that, right? So anyway, key results will be here. So we can go ahead and just make sure X is known as like your own variable. And let's go ahead and cut another page out so we can see how that kind of looks like for us. So grabbing another page here, I'm going to do 2 cuts this time. I want to cut one for the goal, so I know the goal keeps being passed on. So I know exactly, hey, this project is for this goal and also for this key result. So I can see both of them at the same time. And to accomplish that, I'm going to just make sure I have a nice even line here for me to cut both of them very easily. So I'm going to go ahead here and cut this. So I have this right here. I have this second one right here. I have this right here. And then I have this right here. Okay, so now I have 2 additional lines I can cut, and cut them I will. I will go here, fold it in half for a second, and then just go ahead and cut along this line. Again, hopefully if this works out well, I will have a version of this for you guys. For those who don't want to make this yourself, you can just go ahead and print it out at home and just make some appropriate cuts. But for now, if you want to be part of the investigative journey, the exploration, right, of creating something brand new, do feel free to follow along. So I'm going here to cut this now. I'm going to cut this just like that. And then I can cut this just like this as well. Perfect. And now I have 2 more holes in here, which should line up exactly to here. So now I have, this is the goal, right? This is the key result. Oops, key results. And then now I can work on the project, right? Now we're trying to figure out what's the project to work on for this. So project. Okay. So I'm already seeing how I can do this really well now, in the sense that I can like, whenever I'm working on a project, I already see specifically like, hey, this is the key results I'm aiming for, this is the goal I'm aiming for, and perhaps I can just very easily swap these in and out as well. I'm just thinking about like future pages, right? If I want to make sure that this is really reproducible for more and more people, that if they come in and they can add more key results, more than just, for example, 2 here, right? Maybe they want to add 5 and so on. How can they always slot in the same place? I think that's really cool, because it's always going to be one to many, right? So there's a project, could be servicing multiple key results actually. So maybe that's not exactly the case, but definitely 100%, we want to create some customizability for anybody who might be using this, right? So let's do one more box here just for completion's sake. So we know exactly how we can go ahead and add our projects in as well, right? Because, if we want to lift an X amount of weight, then of course we need to go ahead and have a project that is going to help us get there. And it could be anything from a personal trainer to just going to the gym, or starting a gym routine, anything like that. But I'm going to say like maybe, get a personal trainer, right? Just as an example, right? It could be also just creating your own gym habit as well. Completely up to you, but I'm just giving you your example of like, hey, how can you go like step by step? And of course, maybe I will open one more as well, just to really just hammer the point home and show you that you can have so many different ways of creating this for yourself, right? So I'm going to go one more and say like, hey, not only getting a personal trainer is probably one way to achieve this, but also just starting your own gym routine as well, right? Just going to the gym in general. So start a daily gym routine or start a weekly gym routine, right? Start a X gym routine. So again, X means that you will, figure that out for yourself. But I'm just showing you, for example, now you can see the project. Now I think this comes to the very, very cool part of this system, right? Is that when I'm actually working on the task at hand, that's when I need that motivation and clarity on exactly how is this going to improve my life? Like, where is this going to build up for me? So this is where I would go in and say like, okay, let's do one more page, right? This time with, as you might have guessed it, 3 different holes. And then with these 3 different holes, we can then go ahead and see exactly what we're going to try and accomplish given this time. So let's go ahead and make one more page on top of all of this and make those cuts. So I'm going to overlap these and make the lines again. Then I'm going to go ahead and just make sure they're all straight. They are. Fantastic. And then I'm going to make the straight edge here. So just like this. One line. One more line just like so. Just like this. One more line. Another line right here. So we can go ahead and do this line. One more line like so. And then finally a line for our projects as well. So let's go ahead and do this. And then we can go ahead and, do this as well. And now we have our 3 sections and I'm going to cut them up. So let's go ahead and fold this up here. Let's see how we can do it. And then you guys can see the lines here. We're going to just cut them. Some little arts and crafts. Cut this line here. Cut this line here. And then cut this line here. I'll go a bit deeper. Right here, cut this line. Okay, so let's snip these things off. Just like so. Cut right here. Pull that off. Cut right here. Pull it off. And cut right here. Pull it off. Okay, so now we have this nice page. We can go ahead and just stack them up neatly, right? And hopefully we have everything here. We do. Looks like I didn't go too far off, right? And then we have our goal here. We have our key results. And then we have our project. And then now we can work on our tasks. So for example, now we have our tasks. And here we don't have to have another box, right? We can, but basically we can have a task here for maybe just the main task at hand. So we can specify what task it is. So let's make a box here. And then we'll make a larger box for the description, right? So right here we have a box here just for this specific task. And then go ahead here. And then we can also have one more big box for the description of what exactly we're about to do here. So description or notes section is what I like to call it. So a notes section just like so. Okay, just a notes section just like so. And then we can explain what that is. Again, just for, just to hopefully be more open for everybody, I'm not going to say get a personal trainer because I think that's not something that everyone can appreciate. So 100%, I might just say start a gym routine, right? Or just get into the gym more often. So I'm going to say start a gym routine here, just so that I can make a more relevant example. So we can say here, start a gym routine, right? And then your first task might be to find cheapest or most affordable, perhaps not cheapest, most affordable. Find affordable gyms in the area, right? So then what is affordable for you, right? For example, if you had to do a task, well, something that has the equipment you need, right? Equipment I need plus the um, plus uh, monthly contract, so none of that yearly contract stuff, right? Maybe, but like just basically going through exactly what's going to be important for you to, make sure you really go and start your gym routine. Again, the example is find affordable gyms. Maybe the next thing is, hire, a trainer, or maybe you realize that the gym isn't what you need and you just can bring in some home equipment, like whatever you really need to do to really achieve your key results and your goal, you can just figure it out for yourself. And again, I'm not here to necessarily tell you exactly what things you need to do to achieve success in your life. But what I do want to show you is that if you have something like this where you can see very clearly whenever you work on any task, like, hey, my goal is this. This is why I'm doing it. This is my big why, right? This is what's going to motivate me for a long time to come. It's to get fit. Then the next thing is the key result, right? This is what I'm going to hope to achieve by starting anything downstream, by doing any actions. I hope to be able to achieve, in this case, lifting a certain pounds of weight. Then the next is my projects, right? One of my experiments to figure out how this works. This is a gym routine. Maybe the next experiment I'll do is doing an at-home gym. Maybe the next experiment is dieting, right? Or, building up body mass through having protein powders and protein shakes. There's just many, many ways to really achieve your goal and achieve your results that indicate success towards your goal. That it's completely up to you. But what I want to instill with you is the methodology in which you can go ahead and achieve what you want to achieve. So this is a bit of the initial building blocks of the idea I'm having. Let's start brainstorming now what we can do to improve this, right? So I think the ways to improve this, I'm going to type it on here in the right hand side, but the ways to improve it are, how can we improve this design? So I think the first way we can improve it is we're missing the due dates. So I think we can probably fit in some due dates on the side here. So perhaps we have like a divider here, and then we say like, oh, this is going to be due on December, 31st, 2022. Maybe this one, because we want to see some progress, this one will be, due by, let's say April, right? April 30th, 2022, and so on and so forth. But again, I don't like this particularly. We can probably fit that somewhere else. Summer descriptions, right? Descriptions is probably good. If I want to learn more about the goal, can I flip to it and will I see like a full page description, right? I think that's something important to really just note down. The next thing is like the modularity of the design. And I have a few ideas for that. The first one is I want to figure out if I can have, swappable pages, meaning that like any page can be for goals, PR, projects. If I choose to pop out that section. So what I'm thinking right now is, what if I just had a piece of paper, right? Or something like this perhaps. And then whenever I want, if I wanted this to be a goal paper, then I don't pop out anything. If I wanted this to be a key result paper, I pop out the goal section only. If I wanted this to be a project section, I pop out the the goal and the key results and so on and so forth. I think that could be really cool, right? So I think that's definitely one of the big improvements that we can do here. The next big thing I think we can do here to make this really a proper, a proper paper planner is how can we go ahead and have one big page? So where's our one big page of all the different goals, especially if we start popping out, meaning that it will be only for that one section, and then we have to slip in that page as well, right? I think that's just a lot of confusion, right? So there might be like a simple version and a more advanced version. The simple version is you have like, 5 goals that you can work on, and then when you go to the back, you can see all 5 goals. And then for key results, you can see, but then again, it doesn't make sense because each thing will have to shift down a little bit, right? So I think either way, the one page for all the goals will be very hard to see. I think we'll just have to do tabs, right? Tabs that you can flip and you can see each big section again. And then you can see all the key results again as well. So in case that there's a key results, yeah, I think tabs is definitely the best way. Tabs plus the popping out. So I think that's really the modularity I'm looking for. I think what else is descriptions and full page design. So we can make some nice designs since they're now going to be full page, right? For the key results, there's not going to be this here. It's going to be a full page design down here. We can give some, tips on how to plan out a good one. Is that the best way? So key results, we pop it out. Projects, we don't pop out. No, I think we don't have any space for that because if it's going to be a goal, then we don't have any space otherwise there. Hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. Um, okay, so there's some modularity to be improved on here. Well, let's see what else. What else can we make better about this design? Let's brainstorm a little bit. So this is for intentional planning. We have to figure out where the dates go. I think this will also be passed on downstream. So whatever page, so like if I have the goal on the very bottom, I'll cut out this section too. So I'll show the goals on the very bottom. Yeah, so if goals, I just write the top there. If not, I just pop out the whole thing. And then I can keep going on. I have my projects, I have my tasks. I think one thing I'm missing is one to many. So meaning that like, what if this one project will fulfill many of my key results? And I think I'll need to be able to slot that in whenever I want. What if I made a mistake? Let me think about that. If I made a mistake, if I popped out the wrong thing and I want to undo that, should I be able to refasten it? Yeah, just put a paper there and then just seal it back up. I don't think that's a problem, or just erase. So that's why I used eraser for this. This is really, the way that I want to make sure it's all good. How many pages could I do, right? I think I gotta think about that too. So if each goal has 3 key results minimum, each key result will probably have 1 to 2 shared projects. I think they should be shared projects. So a project can fulfill multiple key results. So for example, if I go ahead and I have one of these key results, and I have a project here. So for example, I'm on this page, right? So if I'm on this page, then I could have multiple projects that work towards this. And I'll just slot in a new paper. That's correct. But then if I have another paper here for another key result, then it may not fit that. Yeah, I think the one to many will be very interesting. I might have to be able to like take out whole sections and slot it back in or something like that. I need to think about that a little bit more and perhaps experiment a bit with some of the people in our community, see if they like it. I definitely will be releasing this to our patrons, our lovely patrons who support us every single month, who are honestly the reason why we're still here, creating more value for everyone in our family. So I really appreciate you guys. So 100%, we're going to release a version of this for you guys to enjoy, and you guys can try it out for yourself. And I definitely think that there's more to improve here to make better. But for now, I think this is a good start. What do you think, guys? I think it's a good start. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. This is something that I hope you guys can take with you, especially in the coming holiday season. It's a very low cost way. You just see, I just did it with a few pieces of paper, a very low cost way to really help your friends and family get into intentional planning, create a planner that works for them, right? Even the simplest of ways. Of course, our system is much, much more, expansive and has a lot more modules that you can take advantage of. But I think here is a really good place that you can start if you want to just really be intentional and mindful of, why am I doing something? What do I hope to achieve? How am I going to get there? And the specific task at hand that I'm going to do and document all that. So that's it from me for today. I hope this was an interesting and informative live stream for you. Again, if you're a patron, do check in with our community to see the blueprint for this. I'll give it to you guys to print out and try out for yourself. And I hope you guys join us in the co-creation and collaboration process as we continue building more and more useful tools for living a better life. That's it for me. Please take care. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye now.